Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Nothing Zilch Nada. We're your hosts, Xavier Dean.
I'm Jacob Green.
All right, and for today, on our Valentine's Day, we decided we would show a love for for our childhood with a show that we grew up with, Ben 10.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know what Ben 10 is, it was a show that premiered in Cartoon Network starting in 2005, and I think it ended in 2014, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me double check that.
Yeah. But it went on for a pretty long time, spanned across four, yes, four different series. Starting with the original series, going into Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, and finally Omniverse.
Yep,
And in
Omniverse was
case,
2014.
okay, yeah, so I was right. But the concept is that you got our protagonist Ben Tennyson, also known as Ben 10, who wields a device called the Omnitrix, which is a device that allows him to transform to, at first, 10 aliens, but of course grows to about 30-ish per se. At least if we're talking about the original series, because there's also the reboot to consider, which that premiered 2015, 2016. But most of our discussion is going to be pertaining to the original series today. But it's a very wild series, and we would like to talk about the show at some point because I mean, this is a show where like you got a kid that transforms into different aliens, you got alien life forms on different planets, you got magic, you got mystical objects, you got interdimensional travel, time travel. There's all sorts of stuff going on with this series. But of course, much like in the case of Pokemon, the biggest marketing gimmick is the aliens, which a lot of these have some pretty unique designs. We definitely like some more than others, but we're going to be ranking them today. And how we've decided to categorize our ranking is some of it is going to be based off of design, how unique these aliens look from each other, but we're also going to be considering their abilities and like their usability as well. Although I will say for this ranking, it's fair to rank these based off of how Ben uses them because Ben is the main protagonist. Of course, there are other wielders of the Omnitrix, but that won't be as relevant to the discussion. And also for the sake of our ranking, we're just going to be ranking. We'll of course be ranking the classic aliens, but we've also decided to rank the ultimate versions of the aliens, which we'll explain when we get to it, and some of the reboot aliens. Although this tier list also has the Omni enhancement stuff, which is also pertaining to the reboot, and we've decided to skip those since at least for me, I didn't necessarily grow up with most of the reboot, and I didn't know about these till way later. So yeah.
Mhm. And then, as well, because we did mention design, we will be looking at the design for these aliens from the original through to Omniverse, but we're going to rank it as one rather than throwing Heat Blast from the original series and whatever tier, and then him in Omniverse gets a different tier.
No, yeah,
Heat Blast.
no matter what, most of these aliens have the same powers anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So the design is just something we're factoring in because there are some aliens that have very drastic design changes, which we will get to.
Yeah.
But of course, I say for the sake of not having us go back and forth from one another, I will stop sharing my tier list for now, so that way Xavier can pull up the convenient slideshow presentation of the aliens we have on display.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and basically, I'll be putting the aliens on the different tier lists. We'll check back on it every once in a while to see where we're at.
I'd say we could probably do that. Looking at the list of aliens, we could probably do that after every show. So
Yeah,
go through
that's what
the
I'm thinking.
OG Ben 10. Once we hit a certain person, that's when we go.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, all right, I guess we'll go through with where my presentation starts with a classic. Like you cannot think of Ben 10 without thinking of uh this alien to a point where when Alien Force came out, they had to make their own separate character with this design.
Of
Uh,
course.
Heat Blast.
Yep, Heat Blast.
Hmm.
So I I really like Heat Blast. I mean, when you're talking about the original 10 aliens that were introduced in the first season of Ben 10, they're all gonna be iconic in some form or fashion. But of course, like Heat Blast, he's the fire guy. He of course shoots things with fire.
Hmm.
If we're talking about design firsthand, I like the misshapen tectonic plate design. Um, I like these two other versions that we get later because the first one is from the OG, the second one is from Ultimate Alien, and then the other one is from Omniverse. I kind of like the Omniverse one more because some of the tectonic plates stick out more and there's some misshapen parts. I just think it's really cool.
Yeah. Honestly, I could see this as if you were to make Ben's aliens a Pokemon, I can see this being a decent transition, even though they are the exact like they have a very similar look to each other.
Yeah. Yeah. In terms of like abilities and usability in general, I mean, he gets used a fair amount because, part of it is an iconic status. But I think what puts Heat Blast in a much higher tier is that despite him having fire powers, he actually has a lot of versatility with those fire powers because, of course, he's able to shoot fires out of his hands, but with that, he's also able to fly. He's also
Well,
able
his
to.
flight though doesn't necessarily come from him. It comes because I thought there was this big thing where he had to have a rock levitate with fire as he flies.
That actually was not until Alien Force when they talk
Oh.
about that. Um, because in the original series, he was able to like surf on the fire or shoot fire out of his hands. It wasn't until Alien Force, because there was a character who had some of those attributes named Albright, who was having trouble flying, and Ben is like, "Oh, hey, let me show you a trick I learned," and forms a tectonic plate out of the ground.
Mm, okay.
So I want to say, for the fact that he's iconic and the fact that he has wide versatility, I want to advocate for A.
I'd be fine with A. I kind of want to say S tier because of how iconic and versatile he is. Now, mainly, I would also want to make the argument because there was that live action movie. If
Mhm.
you're iconic enough to get a live action to be part of the live action movie and actually look decent in it, out
Mhm.
of all the aliens that were used, he was the one that looked the best. I'd make the argument for S tier.
You know what?
I know I'm coming in hot with this, but
Yeah, I mean, I can see him being in S tier, and part of me wants to advocate for S tier. We'll put him on S tier for now.
okay.
Uh, there could be the possibility that he goes back down to A, but my argument as to why that is, we'll have to wait a little bit.
Hmm.
Anyways, let's go to the
I
next one.
I think I know why. So the next one is Wild Mutt, the one that we wished we had as a pet.
Yeah. So I kind of like Wild Mutt.
Mhm.
especially in the original series. I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan of the Omniverse one with the collar. Like to me, the original one looks more beast-like.
Hmm.
Where it's like, because like a lot of these aliens, they're inspired by something, but it feels like in the case of Walma, he's more than just a dog. He's kind of like almost every type of mammal when you think about it.
Yes.
Uh, but his big thing is that he got no eyes. He's got like the sensory skills that he has. Um, I
Instead of
don't know.
having, it's kind of like Matt Murdock from the Daredevil comics. Can't see,
Mhm.
but all of his other senses are expanded.
Yeah. And again, much like in the case of other original series aliens, he does get used a fair amount. It's really when we get to the two other series, Ultimate Alien and Omniverse, that he becomes less usable.
Hmm.
And because of that, the most I'd be willing to give him is a B.
I'd be fine with B tier. I would be fine
Mhm.
with B tier. He may be a good boy, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like Wild Mutt in terms of the design. It's just that I feel like there aren't enough times where like he's that usable.
Mhm. Well, not only that, but I feel like if I remember correctly, out of all of Ben's aliens, Wildmutt's the only one that can't speak. I could be wrong with that, but I know for
I could be wrong too. That might be the case. We'll have to check back on that and see.
well,
I
we are going through all the aliens, so
Mhm.
eventually we'll hit
Yeah.
one and we'll be like, oh wait, this one doesn't speak or
Mhm. Yeah.
no. But like I said, the only reason I know that is because there was a certain point, I think it was Ultimate Alien, where Ben starts saying the names of each of the aliens. But yep, so I'm fine with Wildmutt in B tier.
Alrighty.
All right, next up we've got Diamond Head.
Okay, Diamond Head, I want to give him S tier.
Yes, yes, I would have made the argument if you hadn't said it. Because
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
here's my thing with Diamond Head. Diamond Head, I feel like out of the original 10 aliens, is the most useful alien for Ben. He
I
has
think so too.
he has the strength. He's virtually indestructible. I'm saying virtually indestructible because there was that one episode
Mhm.
in I want to say Alien Force, but that's beside the point. He's virtually indestructible. Uh he can grow the crystals on his skin to make all sorts of constructs, and can't he generate crystals from around his body as well?
I believe so too. That's the thing. He has such a wide array of powers for what he is that like I that's why I want to put him on S tier.
Yeah.
Like he's really I think he's way more of a powerhouse than Heat Blast is because with Heat Blast, one of his big weaknesses is that if he's exposed to water, well,
Hmm.
he's kind of donezo. But with Diamond Head, he's kind of a hard one to take down.
Yep. I would agree. So, but Diamond Head S tier.
Yeah. And also like I think he's had solid designs across the entire series too. You
Hmm.
know, of course there are slight differences between them. Well, I say slight when we have the Alien Force one having like the same chroma stone like pattern, which we'll get to.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I think he's a very versatile alien, and I think he's a major powerhouse for
Yep.
sure.
Plus, if Ben is confident to take an alien to fight Vilgax and win, more power to him.
Yeah, well, actually, Diamond Head does defeat Bill Gax.
That's what I was trying to say.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm gonna say there's exceptions to this, but I feel like if you are an alien that can go head to head with Vilgax and win, solid S tier.
for sure. All right,
All right.
next one.
Next one, we've got Accelerate.
Okay, he's another one where I could see either being an S or an A tier. So he's very much inspired by a speedster, so much like the Flash. Um, except he has some pretty cool design quirks. I like how slender and sleek the design is. You
Yes.
know, I like the helmet
Mm,
screen-like thing that you would see on a motorbike rider. I love the balls on the feet. I love the body extending into a tail,
mm,
which is really cool. And of course, like Ben always uses him like he's a fast alien for sure.
yes.
Like he's Ben's go-to speeder.
Mm, I I don't think he's the fastest because I'm pretty sure because I'll when we get to this one, I'll explain a little more in depth. But I feel like there was one that was just a little faster than Accelerate. Oh, oh,
That could be true, but like because you know he has a couple of other aliens that also specialize in speed, but out of all of them, Accelerate seems to be the most relevant.
he Accelerate is the one that's the most relevant. I'm also going to point out I'm a big fan of the name. Not sure if you could tell.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these names are pretty cool. You know, they're funny names.
Well,
Um,
mine's more, starts with an X. So I'm sitting here like, yes, if I could do a cartoon, build my name, the first one can be Accelerate.
mhm.
No, but
All
I would
right.
agree with either A or S. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I
I
want to say this.
I'd be
I
fine.
want to,
I'd be fine with S.
yeah, we got three in S so far. So,
Man, the OG
um,
series is showing why it's OG. All
mhm,
right. Now we're gonna go with one of Ben's smallest aliens,
mhm.
gray matter.
Yeah. So I like gray matter. I especially like the original series voice. I believe it's Rob Paulson that voices gray matter in the original series.
Great. Now you're making me look into. You're making me do extra research as we're going through the video. I did
Yeah.
enough research.
Yeah. So one of the things about gray matter is that like not only is he small, but he's super smart because so a lot of these aliens are based off of like species with like species names. Uh like for gray matter, he's based on a Galvin, and they're supposed to be like some of the smartest beings in the universe.
All right, so voice actor is not Rob Paulson. It's Richard Steven Horvitz.
Richard Stephen Horvitz. Oh, right. Yeah, that is true. Okay, I'm glad you
And
checked that.
this makes me realize that I spelled Gray Matter's name wrong.
Yeah, but
There are probably a couple names misspelled, but that's because when I was looking, I was watching something where I'm sure they misspelled names as well. So,
yeah. So, despite him being the smartest, one of the smartest aliens that Ben has in his disposal, um, it sometimes feels like he gets shelved a lot, much like in the case of Wildmutt. But again, I still think he deserves a higher tier.
yeah.
So
Right.
I say either A or B.
Okay, so I've got two things against Gray Matter. Both of them are design things. First one,
Hmm.
if you look at the Omniverse design, it is such a downgrade from the original design.
Yeah, it kind of is.
I don't know what it is. I like the slender, sleek. uh, The other one is, how earlier I was talking about how Heat Blast, when he was in the live action movie, had a great design.
Yeah,
Gray Matters scared the living shit out of me when I watched it.
I I could see that. I could see that for sure. The other thing, and this is something we'll talk about as we go on. But the original, there were two artists from the original series. I know the first one designed like the first 10, and Tom Perkins did like all the other. ones from the original series. But like the first gray matter design looks more like the terrestrial aliens that it's based off of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the thing is, like, a lot of the modern aliens were designed by Derek J. Wyatt. And like there's some J. Wyatt designs that I do like, but his designs to me always seem to be too fine-tuned for
Mm-hmm.
what they are. It's
Right.
not always the case, but I think in the case of like some of the original series, especially in the case of Gray Matter, I like the hands and feet, fleshing with the design, and I love the little gills
Mm-hmm.
that he has, and the bulging eyes too, and the shine of the eyes.
Yep. Honestly,
So
I'd be fine with either A or B. I'm kind of
okay,
leaning more towards B with Gray Matter.
yeah. Well, let's put them in B because the other thing too is that the Galvins, while Ben's use of the alien past the original series is kind of minimal, the Galvin series is still very relevant
It is.
throughout the series.
I don't know.
Uh,
I'm saying more B because there's another alien that Ben has in a later iteration that is incredibly smart and can be used for more than just his intelligence and getting into tight places.
I can see that. All right,
All right.
we're moving on.
Next up, we've if Heat Blast is the most iconic of Ben 10's aliens, this next one is the poster. You can't have one without thinking of the other. As there's a reason why both of them were the first two aliens in the Ben 10 video game. We got forearms.
Yeah.
Which
So
it took me until I was 18 years old to realize that it was a play on words, the name. Not it wasn't just that he had forearms, but there's actual forearms. Yeah.
yeah.
I knew
So
about
forearm.
forearms. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Forearms is your strong man. He got forearms. He's also pretty durable for what he
Mm,
is. Like he's able to take on fire,
yeah.
which is pretty good for what it is. I also love the original series voice too. I think it's Richard McGonigal that voices forearms. I was just
All right, hold on.
watching some of the stuff today. But yeah, I really like forearms. Some of the there are other aliens that we'll get to that also fill out the strong man archetype,
Hmm.
but I don't think it's to the point where forearms immediately becomes irrelevant.
Um,
Um,
I would say my biggest issue when it comes to forearms,
mhm,
with all forearmed characters,
mhm.
it's the practicality of the forearms.
Yeah.
You got the top ones, their range of motion is your normal range of motion for arms. But
Mhm.
because of where the bottom ones are at, right on the sides, it's almost like those ones are a little more constricted.
Yeah. Um, I say, I say the other thing for me is just like how some of these forearm designs are kind of slightly different from one another. I think out of all of them, I kind of prefer UAF's forearms, and even more specifically the because there was a Ben 10 Generator X crossover where a bunch of aliens were in the Generator X art style, and forearms was one of them.
Mhm.
And this UAF art style one was like one of the best interpretations of forearms because like I like original series forearms, but he seems a little bit too bulky
Yeah.
sometimes. And then the Macho Man forearms for Omniverse,
That one's
it's all right. It's all right. But I would still like to give it a.
I will be fine with A. I don't know. For me, forearms is overrated. There's so many. Like honestly, Diamond Head is a better. Like
No, of course, which is why Diamond Head is S. But I do think that I think out of all of them, forearms is like one of the most unique out compared to some of the other strong mans as we'll get to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Ready for the next one?
Hmm.
All right. Hey, smell that, Jake?
Ah, yes.
It's a stink. Fly.
Yeah. Snake fly.
I don't know, I'm trying to
Snake
make a pun for all
fly.
these, and it's not working out well.
Snake fly. What?
All right. So I know we're not factoring in the reboot design, but I'm
Mhm.
gonna be honest. I prefer the reboot's design of Stinkfly over these.
Oh, come on.
I
Come on. I love the original series Stinkfly because he looks like a bug.
He does look like a bug, but at the same time, like these things, the eyes.
I like the eyes. I think the eyes add character to it because, like, this is what I was talking about with gray matter. I like how these original series aliens look weird and have these little like details to them. I love the gross details of some of these aliens. Um, anyways, I will say though, as much as I like Stinkfly, especially the voice, much like in the case of Wild Mutt, I think he gets shelved a lot, and
Well,
especially
I feel like with him, he gets shelved a lot less because out of all of Ben's aliens, he's the one that can guarantee fly. I know
yeah,
we were talking about how Heat Blast can fly, but Sink
yeah,
Fly with the wings is an immediate flyer in it in our eyes.
yeah, but there are other aliens that he has that also have wings and can actually fly.
Right, but you also got to think about when he had those aliens. Remember, he only started with 10. We're only on alien 7 of those.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can see that, and he does have the added advantage of shooting out like the gunk from
Mm,
his eyes,
yeah,
um, which that's fine. So I can at least give it a B.
I'm fine with B. I'm fine with B.
Mhm.
But I'm
The
still
other,
sticking with what I said about the design. I'm not a big fan of either of these designs.
I mean, I could agree with you with the Omniverse ones, because I think adding the pupils to his eyes wasn't a good idea. Um, I much like the blank eyes of the other stinkfly.
Yep. All right. Looking at what's next. Nope, I'm not saying the joke that's in my head. This is Ripjaw
Hmm.
or
Yeah,
Ripjaws. I'm gonna say Ripjaw.
yeah.
I
It
will say
I believe it's Ripjaws.
Ripjaw.
Ripjaws.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I will say I
So
had a joke in mind, but the joke only came up because I saw The Shape of Water,
mhm,
and that is way too messed up of a joke for us to say.
yeah. So I kind of like the inspiration of Ripjaws
Hmm.
being like he's a more humanoid fish, but he's got the features of an angular fish too, with the jaws and the little antenna like bulb, which
Hmm.
I think is pretty cool. Um, But his advantage is also his disadvantage, and that is like he excels in the water, but if you put him on land, then it's going to be useless for him.
Right, but with that, at least in the original series, that made him far more valuable. Because you could pretty much interchange like Diamond Head or Forearms when it comes to strength. You could pretty much interchange Stinkfly and Heat Blast when it comes to flight. None of his other original 10 aliens could swim, or at least swim down low. Ripjaws, on the other hand, could do that. He could do all the underwater stuff.
That is
Add,
true.
added bonus, those feet change into a tail. so he can be versatile in the water and in the land, or and on land.
That you just reminded me, there's one design that's not featured on here, and that is the UAF one because he does use it at one point in UAF, and I don't like it. I don't like the choices that they made um with that particular rip jaws.
Mm,
Yeah. And I like Omni versus rip jaws too.
that one looks pretty cool.
Yeah, the original one kind of looks naked. Um,
That's
but
the point.
I'll be fair though. I'll I can at least give it a B because I'm also factoring in because he also kind of becomes irrelevant once we factor all the other water aliens that can not only swim but also excel on land too.
That is true. I will be fine with B tier.
All right.
Design enough where I would fight A tier, but I understand the reason for B tier.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Next, Jake, I'm sorry. This one was my personal favorite.
Mm-hmm.
That upgrade. So I've got
All
complete
right. I
eyes.
really like Upgrade, and I'll tell you the reasons why I like Upgrade. So, when it comes to most of these aliens, especially the ones that we've already taken a look at, you could pretty much compare them to stuff that's already relevant to other superhero shows because like Ben 10 was originally created by Man of Action,
Mm.
which was kind of like I think they were a branch off of DC.
Uh,
Uh,
no, I don't think
it
they were a branch off. I will say Ben 10 was Man of Action's first series.
was it definitely was, and there were like people from like DC shows that would go on to write the other series, particularly Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. But what I'm getting at is that like all the aliens that we've taken a look at so far are kind of based off of like other ones from other science fiction franchises. You look at DC or Marvel or any of those, and they have some of those archetypes. I don't think at this point we got something where their power was that they could like morph with gear, like not only become part of the gear but also improve it.
Um, not directly. Not directly. I
Mhm.
know there's a couple technopaths in Marvel and DC who are able to use their technology to enhance, but
But not in the same way as Upgrade
not
does
the
it.
same way. No, Upgrade is by far one of the more unique aliens.
Yeah, it's unique to Ben 10, and much like in the case of the Galvans, the galvanic mechamorphs are probably they're a very relevant series to Ben 10. So
Hmm. Yep.
I say I say I'd be willing to give it an S.
I'd be fine with S tier as well. Again,
Again, like
this one was my favorite. I
mhm,
love the idea that, you know, it's he's not just an alien. He can morph
mhm,
into whatever with the provided tools.
yeah. Yeah,
He can
I will
solve the
say
trolley problem without killing anyone.
uh,
No,
the
he can solve the trolley problem without killing anyone. He can merge with the trolley and stop it before it runs over anyone.
I guess so. I say the only thing that would possibly get him into a lower tier is that with Ben's utilization of upgrade. Again, original series, pretty useful alien. Once we get to like Omniverse, like it seems like he always gets shelved, which
Hmm.
is a shame because like there are many instances where he could be very useful.
Yes.
But I would still be willing to give it an S because there's a lot of great potential with this alien, and it has been used well, especially in the original series. I'm not going to give that same grace to every alien for the record.
Hmm. Yep. All right. Speaking of aliens, we've already gone through the first nine aliens.
Hmm.
Now, alien number 10, the one who got
Hmm.
away.
Yeah, that is true. Ghost Freak. So, Ghost Freak is interesting.
Hmm.
Now, when most people talk about Ghost Freak, it's mainly in terms of the storytelling of the villain that debuted in the original series, is Scare, who was trapped inside the Omnitrix and was able to escape out. Um, and if this was a villain's ranking, I would definitely put Scare in like an S tier. But if we're talking about Ben's utilization of the alien specifically,
Hmm.
uh,
I don't know. Granted, it's because he didn't have this alien for the longest time, but Ben,
that
never,
is true. But even when he does get him back,
he,
in like Ultimate Alien,
you
it just doesn't seem like he gets utilized super well.
know.
Uh,
Well, the other thing is, I can only think of one key time where Ben actually used Ghost Freak, and it was just to scare a clown.
yeah, well, that was kind of like the first instance of like, oh, there Ben is not being himself. It feels like he's not like himself like he is with an other alien. That's like the scare uh popping out.
Yep.
But again,
I will say,
I like
I
the
think
poltergeist elements of Ghost Freak, and I'd be willing to give him a B.
I'd be fine with the B tier. I
Yeah,
would normally say C tier, but the Omniverse design is sick as fuck. Just
yeah.
fudge,
I like the
fudge.
Omniverse. I like the Omniverse design. I do like the original series design though, because like
I do
it's
too.
like it's subtle in its details, because like there are those scenes where like he just rips everything out, and like it's just like, oh man, who knows what's under there.
Yep. Well, now we
uh
know it's. Yep. All right. So I figured we could stop at the first 10 just because it's the first 10. So, Jake, how does our tier or how does our ranking look so far?
oh this is what it's oh this is what it's looking like so far.
All right. Honestly, it's not
pretty
looking.
solid Pretty solid batch of 10. I
Yeah.
could make the argument that some of these could be in lower tiers, but you know what, I think this is looking pretty good so far.
It's the first 10. It's iconic.
Hmm.
So,
We got the original 10. We're moving on.
yep. And we're moving on to cannon bolts.
The first add-on alien. Actually, he's the first add-on alien to be added twice, because in the original series he was added on as the 11th alien. And then in Alien Force, when Ben gets Master Control, he's the first alien that Ben uses
Hmm.
from like his original batch. Um, I love the concept of Cannonball just being like this armadillo roly poly type guy who's just like indestructible in the shell. I also like the fact that in the original series in particular, they demonstrate the fact that like Cannonball cannot run. He cannot run on his feet. He has to roll, which they I hated that they retconned it when we get to like Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, because it's like you see Cannonball like sprinting before he just rolls it to a ball.
Hmm. All right. So honestly, I remember having an because I collected action figures when I was younger. I remember having a
Mhm.
Cannonbolt action figure,
Ooh.
and out of all of Ben's aliens I had, he was my least favorite one to play with because he had those big arms that only rotated, they didn't up or down. But that is my only big complaint with Cannonball or Cannonbolt. I feel like he was one of Ben's more versatile aliens.
I think so too, despite some of the limitations that he has. So I'd be willing to give it an A or an S.
I'm debating in my head because
Because he still gets used quite a bit. He doesn't get shelved like the other original aliens do.
all right, and he is iconic. I'll be fine with S tier. I but like a low S tier.
Yeah, that's fine. All right.
All right, moving on to an alien I forgot about until yesterday.
Mhm.
Wildvine.
Yeah. So
I also
I
I will also
mhm,
say when I was younger, which makes
mhm,
me sound really bad right now, but when I
mhm.
was younger, I thought that Wildvine was one of the original 10.
That's fine because there were new aliens being added on past season two. Well,
Mm,
past season one. But yeah, I speaking of original series, that's one of the main highlights I like about the original series design, where I love the extra details that he has and how long everything is.
mm,
Like the Omniverse one is one of those instances where it's just feels too fine-tuned for me. Of course, his abilities attribute to plant life. You know, he's able to extend and regrow his vines.
mm.
But despite that, he's honestly my first vote for a C.
I'd be fine with giving him a C.
Because as it stands, and again, we'll be talking about this when we get to it, but it's just he 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 just gets shelved. He just gets shelved sometimes because there are other way more stronger aliens than he is. And I'm not saying that he isn't useful. I think he could be useful in certain instances, but
I don't know. I feel like a character like that would be more useful if they also had a backup like fire type power or something like that. Just throwing darts at a board or something.
yeah, except his weakness is fire.
I know. Well, that's why I'm saying give him something like fire that counteracts. That way you have a plant and fire based alien. But we're not going to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely
All
not.
right.
All right, moving on. And this is more embarrassing because I remembered this one, and if I remember correctly, this alien only had one episode appearance. It's Spitter.
It is Spitter.
And I
Yeah,
actually, because I'm not sure if we have the entire power set memorized, Spitter's
mhm,
powers include a slime spit. He's able to
mhm.
inflate his body, and he's able to breathe underwater.
Yeah. So the thing about Spitter and why people always talk about him is the fact that we never got him. He only appeared in two episodes, but those two episodes involved Ben 10,000, who's the a variation of Ben 10, but not the prime version
Yep.
that we follow.
Honestly, if I remember correctly, when I was doing a little research,
Mhm.
Spitter is actually one of the two non-canon aliens in Ben's arsenal.
Uh, I don't want to entirely say it's not canon because let's keep in mind the fact that the Omnitrix supposedly has 1,000,003 samples.
Well, it does, but what I'm saying is the existence of Spitter was retconned during the show. So that's why Spitter is no longer considered canon.
Well, I
There was
don't. Well, I
another
don't.
alien, there was another alien that had that exact same thing happen, and if we have time, we'll be able to get to that one.
I guess I could see it, but either way, as much as I do like the design, um, it's honestly my vote for D.
I'd be fine with the D.
Yeah, it's I say the. So I'm actually gonna try and add an F tier as well if we need it. But
Oh, we're gonna need it. We're gonna need it. There is an alien later on whose name will literally tell us that we need it.
oh,
I can't tell you.
yeah, because the reason why I would think he would not be how I would say it, not an F tier is because of the fact that he kind of shook the fan base at the time. The fact that like, oh, there's this new alien and we haven't like really gotten him. There's a couple of aliens that are like that. The only difference is that like they appear more. But
Well, the other
yeah,
one was this was one of the aliens that was used to fight against Vilgax.
true. That is true.
Wait, hold on. That just made me realize. Because in that same episode, our Ben, like the main continuity Ben,
Mhm.
was fighting alongside
Mhm.
Ben 10,000. Ben 10,000 fought with this alien and then two other aliens. Do you know which alien Ben was fighting with?
He fought with a ton of different
Well,
aliens.
like in the main battle, the final battle. You know which one he ended with?
Arctic Iguana.
Not Ben 10,000. Our Ben.
Oh, Diamond Head. Yeah.
Diamond Head. So Diamond Head beat Vilgax twice. That's why our boy deserves an S tier,
Yeah, but it was a future Vilgax, though.
which makes him more powerful. Dude, come on,
Hmm.
you gotta know comic book logic. The longer a
Okay.
character has been around, the stronger they become.
All right.
All right, but anyway, you said D tier for Spitter.
Yeah, D tier for Spitter.
All right, the now we're moving on to another one that was first introduced by Ben 10,000, but this one
Mhm.
later became one of Ben's. I feel like more. Not, I'm not sure if he was used more often, but he had some uses in Omniverse.
Mhm.
There, Buzz Shock.
Yeah. So I like the megawatt species, which appear quite frequently in the original series and at some points in Omniverse. In terms of Ben's utilization of the alien, honestly, and considering the fact that like we have a lot of aliens that have electric powers, I
Hmm.
mean it's cool that like that they're able to like meld with the electricity and travel through wires. I think that's cool. Um, Honestly, I could see either as a D or a C.
I want to say C tier. I like the design enough for this one. That
I
plus,
like the design.
yeah, that plus to me, Buzzshock's kind of like a little gremlin type character. Not to
Yeah,
be,
that
not
is
to be
true.
confused with the actual gremlin that we will see later on.
Yeah, is it are C batteries a thing?
I think so. I'm pretty sure C batteries are a thing.
Mm. Well, Buzzshock is a C battery.
Hmm. Yep. All right. Moving on to the last one that was introduced through Ben 10,000 and one we've already
Mhm.
talked about. If my things will actually work. Arctiguana. I'm just going quickly. Now they work.
Yeah. So Arctic Iguana, we actually do see him used more
Hmm.
past like the original series. I will say I'm a big fan of the original series design more than Omniverse. The Omniverse one looks too cute.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I mean look at the fingers on the original Arctic Iguana. Like that's so cool.
Hmm.
Again,
Also,
it's
I'm also going to point this out, and
Mhm.
I should have pointed this out a long time ago.
Mhm.
But I'm pointing this out now. I hate the fact that they changed the watch placement for Ben.
Yeah,
I
that
like, don't get me wrong. I understand why they have it on the chest because that's his symbol, that's where it is. But I feel like it becomes more of a disadvantage for Ben having the symbol on his chest because now everyone knows if they just want to, screw him in a fight, just have him tap his chest.
yeah. Well, except he usually keeps that locked, I think. I don't know. The I'm not talking about the whole situation with the Omnitrix mechanics, but either way, the highest I'd be willing to give it is a B, although
Mhm.
there are some arguments for a C.
I'd be fine with B.
Mhm. Because I think it's a cool design, pun unintended.
Yep. All right. Now, Ben has had some aliens that look like monsters.
Hmm.
But now we're coming to the actual monsters in Ben's watch. Welcome.
Yeah,
And we're going to start it with Blitzwolfer.
Blitzwolfer. By the way, the next three aliens, they were called like Ben Wolf, Ben Mummy, and Ben Zorro. I think
I
Ben
think,
Zorro.
yeah,
No.
yeah, Ben Zorro.
Oh wait, no. Ben Zorro is the one of the Ben variants. I think it's Ben.
Maybe Frankenben?
Maybe
Ben Franken.
maybe
Ben Franken. That's what he
Ben
was.
Frank. Ben Franken. That's a weird name. Anyways,
Well, it
yeah,
was a
they
play
didn't
off
get
Ben
their
Franklin.
they didn't get their actual alien names until Omniverse. Blitzwolfer, it's an all right name. I like the powers that he has. Um, I think the original series one, it has a good melding of like being a wolf, but
Mhm.
like it's more akin to like an Egyptian wolf.
Yes. In fact,
Whereas,
I think all three of them took on a more Egyptian look.
yeah, whereas the original series Blitzwolfer, he's more dog-like.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I do like how fierce looking he looks, but
So the one
uh,
thing I like about the original
mhm,
is the face.
mhm,
Because when Ben in this alien form howls, instead of
mhm,
just having it where like our jaws have that little hinge that goes out,
mhm,
Blitzwolf or Ben Wolf, whatever he was called then, actually
mhm.
had his mouth split four different ways.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool design feature for both of these because like Omniverse still has it where it's open four ways.
Oh yeah, Omniverse
So,
did.
mhm.
Oh,
So I'd be willing to give it a B.
I'm down with the B tier.
Yeah. I think he's pretty cool. I think he's pretty neat. He's a good boy.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. All right. Next up, since we're talking about Egyptians, we should talk about Snarrow.
Yeah, Snarrow. Honestly, like as much as I like the original series design, where
Mhm.
like I love the flaps and everything, uh, and I like the regeneration powers and whatnot.
Mhm.
Honestly, I could see him either as a C or a D because like he's not again, much like in the case of Wildvine, he's not that useful.
Honestly, I view him as a slightly worse version of Wildvine because Wildvine still has the little extra things that he can do, where Snarrow
Mhm.
is pretty much copy paste.
Yeah, and you can unravel Snarrow if you wanted to. Not sure how that would entirely work, but
Yeah.
anyways, where would you think?
Where do we put Wildvine?
We put him in C.
All right, so I'd say Snarrow should go in D tier.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. All right, last of the monsters,
Mm-hmm.
Frankenstrike, or
Great strike.
yep. And I'm gonna be honest, as a Frankenstein lover,
Mhm.
I hate the Omniverse design.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Omniverse design either. And look at this too, because one of the big things for all the Omniverse design was the belt thing. Like almost every single alien had like some sort of belt where the Omnitrix was at, and you could see that they were doing that over here, except they decided, oh, we're just gonna put the thing over there. And I don't like all the stitches that he
Oh,
has.
that's my big thing. I'm not a big fan of
Yeah.
those stitches.
I love the original series, Frankenstrike.
Yep.
Um, now he is an electric guy, but we actually see him being used more often than Buzzshock is.
Hmm.
So I say because of that, I'd be willing to give him a B.
I'd be fine with B tier as well.
Mm-hmm. Because as it stands, it's a pretty cool design. I really like it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up, we've got an alien. I know we've gone through aliens that have had two different designs. A couple of
Mm-hmm.
these aliens have had three different designs.
Mm-hmm.
This alien, and we're gonna rank this alien as one alien,
Mm-hmm.
technically has four different designs, but these four different designs come from two variants.
Mm-hmm.
It's up, Chuck.
Yeah, the Gastro Gummy Bear.
Yep.
That so there's a channel called the Ink Tank where they cover like Ben 10 and Danny Phantom content. And one of the guys, one of his favorite aliens is Upchuck. That's what he calls him, the Gastro Gummy Bear.
Yep.
Because that's what he is. He's a garbage disposal alien. He eats anything.
Well, he
This,
doesn't
this
just eat it.
species, these species eat entire freaking planets.
Well, again, it's not just that he eats it. He's like an actual Yoshi, where he'll eat it and then spit it back out. He's got that long tongue.
Yeah,
Ladies,
four
I
of
know
them.
you like this one.
Four, four of them.
I know. He can do four ladies at once.
Screw you. Okay. So,
No, but
um,
I
I, but I think the thing that makes Upchuck unique though is so the original series had like this original design, which like out of all these, I like this one. I love the weird blank eyes, and I like the misshapen mouth and gills. I think it's really cool. But they introduced this variation in Alien Force. And then in Omniverse, they made it into two separate species, which makes them subspecies. So the green ones are called the perks, and the dark green ones are called the mercs. And there's a whole episode on Omniverse based around that. But so because of that, and the fact that I like his powers of just like eating and spitting it out, uh, I'd be willing to give it an A.
I'm fine with an A tier.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I don't think he's quite S tier.
no, but Upchuck
But
definitely.
but it's a species that has a lot of good world building.
Yes, yes, it does.
And that's one of the big things that carries an alien for me is you know, the world building when they actually decide to do it. It actually doesn't become that much of a thing till Omniverse.
Mhm.
So,
All right. Speaking of world building,
oh yeah.
what?
No, go ahead.
All right. So speaking of world building, can't really have a world without a population, and this one alien can fill that entire population. It's Ditto.
Hey, it's me, Ditto.
Honestly, so
It's Yako Warner as an alien.
it is Yakko Warner as an alien.
This is the alien that's voiced by Rob Paulson
Yes.
because he's
What's that?
yeah, because Rob Paulson voiced um Yako in the Animaniacs,
Let me quickly go through. Oh, I've got to see all.
but he voiced this alien.
While I'm looking, keep talking. That way there's not as much blank space.
Yeah, so I think
Oh,
one of the
no.
things,
Yep, he is. He is voiced.
yeah. So one of the things I like about this design, and it actually fits with like the character that Rob Paulson voices, is like the original series design. It feels so blobby. It looks so blobby, and he's just able to squish and squash and mesh all together because these aliens' powers they're able to duplicate one another.
Yeah.
Which there is another alien that has that same power, which we'll get to, but I think it's pretty cool.
Yes.
When we get to Omniverse, though, they just have it to where the duplicate power is a flash, which makes it less cool.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
they still keep the voice, so that's at least commendable. So because of that, and the fact that like again like he's not used as frequently, I'd be willing to give him a B.
I'm fine with the B tier. I'm fine with the
Mm-hmm.
B tier. He's not my favorite, but there's a little soft spot here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could put us at B.
All right. Now, we're going to move on to another one. And I'm going to be honest. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't necessarily forget about him. I just forgot he was from the OG series. I thought this was an
Mm-hmm.
alien introduced in Ultimate Alien. We've got Eye Guy. And because I couldn't remember what he could do, I also have some of his powers, which includes 360 vision, ophthalmokinesis, which I meant to look up and completely forgot about. Give me one
Mm-hmm.
second. While I'm doing that, he also had eye merging, an
Mm-hmm.
extendable chest eye, and optic blasts. So,
Mm-hmm.
Jake, I'm gonna let you talk while I try to find out what this means.
Yeah. So I think one of the things about Eye Guy, well, I think much like in the case of some of the other obscure aliens, like he came out of nowhere in the original series with no buildup. It's like Ben transforms into this guy, cool. New alien unlocked, no fanfare or anything. And I love the original series design. Again, it looks weird and misshapen body proportions. Omniverse one is just he's just dude with eyes.
All right, so ophthalmokinesis is the ability to manipulate the eyes and eyesight of others.
I don't think I've seen that type of power being used, but
Nope.
um, I will say again, Guy is just one of those guys that gets shelved, but because of the way he rocked the fan base back in the day,
Mhm.
I'd be willing to give him a B.
I'd be fine with a B. I'd be fine with.
Mhm.
Like I said, I didn't necessarily forget about him. I just forgot that he was an
Yeah.
OG alien.
Yeah, he was an OG alien. Although he didn't really appear in at all in the UAF era. In fact, in Omniverse, when Ben transforms to this guy, he even has a line that he says, like, I guy, sweet, I haven't turned into this guy in like forever.
Mhm. All right. So we've got one more alien who's considered OG. Again, there's
Mhm.
another one that's technically part of the OG
Mhm.
aliens, but we're gonna get to him much later
Mhm.
because I consider him one of the extra aliens.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna point out this dude, he's not just big. Damn, thing didn't work. He's way big.
Way
And
big.
I'm gonna bring up, I did mention, if Ben has an alien to fight, that he is confident to go head to head with Vilgax.
Mhm.
That alien should immediately get a higher tier. Now I'm gonna be honest, way big deserves to be in that tier. First off,
I
looking at the original design,
Mhm.
he is just a beast. I was I was upset when they slimmed him down for Ultimate Alien, Alien Force.
Mhm.
The other thing I loved was how he was introduced. He was introduced in a Ben 10 animated movie. I forgot what it was called. Wasn't it Race Against Time?
Secret of the Omnitrix,
Secret of the Amtras.
the
But
better Ben 10 movie,
what's that?
the better Ben 10 movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Bear Ben 10 movie. But in this one, this is where we learn about Azimuth, the guy who
Mhm.
created the the Watch, the Omnitrix. We get a Diamond Head type side character who comes back, I want to say every so often in the later series.
Yeah, he's still relevant, but the thing about him is just like, you know, I'm not that big of a fan of Way Big, but like I still am one to still give him S tier because it's like when
Hmm.
Way Big shows up, oh man, it's about to go down. Like
And the
usually
way,
it's a way big deal.
well, it is way big deal, but the way that he was introduced was when
Mhm.
Azimuth was fixing the watch and jumping on it. So it took the smallest alien, or one of the smallest aliens, to release one of the biggest aliens in Ben's arsenal.
Definitely. And like, he still appears quite a bit for like bigger battles, which
Hmm.
I still think is pretty cool. And I love the original series artwork. Like it seems to be like out of all the original aliens, the one to have like such little details connected to it that make it so cool. And it
Hmm.
makes it disappointing when you go to UAF and he's just big man.
That's why I was just saying.
Yeah,
I hate
I
that it
get
changed.
yeah. But I will say though, he's based off of Ultraman, and all three of these have some type of Ultraman pose that they use.
Yep.
When they shoot like the beams,
Hmm.
because that's one of his powers. He shoots beams. Um, but he does it in a specific pose. But yeah, way big S tier.
All right.
He's a powerhouse. He's a powerhouse.
Yep. And that is from the OG series. Jake, where are we at with our tiers?
Well, we can see some things being filled out currently.
Hmm.
So far, the the aliens that are in S tier, we got 6 in total. I think this is a pretty good batch of S tier aliens right here.
Hmm. Yep.
And all the other ones, the B one is kind of huge, but you know what? I consider these aliens to be pretty average. You know, not
Well,
good, not bad, just average. And then the
honestly,
other
I feel like
are
the
just,
beat is going to grow a lot more.
oh no, yeah, definitely, for sure. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna grab something real quick. You mind introducing our next series alien, which we will definitely have some things to talk about.
All right. So I've kind of already been saying this one up. Remember how earlier when we were talking about Wildvine, how I mentioned we needed a character that was like Wildvine with the plant aspect, but also a character with a fire aspect? Well, luckily, when Alien Force first came out, the first alien that Ben transformed into matched that exact description. And Jake, I'm pretty sure this is the one that you were going to make the argument for Heat Blast not being an S tier. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all in between, please welcome to the stage. Stupid arrow not working. Swamp Fire,
Swamp fire.
who I think of the Alien Force aliens.
Mm.
Honestly, looking at the list of Alien Force aliens, he is one of three that's Ben's go-to for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, you combine the aspects of Wildfire and Heat Blast together. He's able to shoot fire blast, but he's also to manipulate plant life too. He's also able to like throw seeds out
Mm-hmm.
and have vines like pop out of the ground or have things explode.
Yep.
I think is cool. Like he's able to make things like explode with different plant and toxic manipulation. He's also able to through the palms of his hands. You see it a couple times. He's able to absorb the fumes.
Mhm.
from the air, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Beat that,
and I
Captain Planet.
Yeah. But I love the Alien Force design where like his feet is like tree trunks,
Hmm.
which is really cool. I love the face. I love the patterns.
This is where Omniverse screwed the pooch.
Yeah, I'm not big on the blossom form.
It,
There are some people that really like the night look of the blossom form, but like
mhm.
I'm not one of them.
It is
And
like
I
it's like the disco era Nightwing costume. We all know
yeah,
it's not. There's some people who it's a favorite of, but it is not a good look.
yeah. But despite all that though, I still want to give it S tier.
I'm fine with S tier.
Like again, iconic alien, powerhouse, powerhouse.
Yeah. Plus,
He barely has any weaknesses.
mhm. And I'm pretty sure, at least in the first season, he was utilized in almost every episode in some way,
Oh,
shape, or form.
oh yeah, true. And he was the first alien that Ben used to turn ultimate once he got the Ultimatrix.
But we will get to that when we get to that, which
Mhm.
is going to be a while. All right, moving on to the next one. And this is another one that's kind of taken in like a little bit of inspiration from the previous season,
Mhm.
but instead of it necessarily being combining two aliens, it's just taking one alien, making them a little better. It's Echo Echo.
Yeah. I really like Echo Echo. His gimmick of duplicating, but also uh manipulating like sound waves is
Hmm.
really cool. I've heard that his design inspiration is based off like the original iPod, at
Yep, I can
least
see
the
it.
white version. And you can see that with like the headphone type design that he has. He has a 10 on the back. And I like the little details that he has. Original Echo Echo, I think, has a very sleek design. There are some people that do like the Omniverse one.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. It
Yeah.
looks a little too chunky.
Yeah. I part of me likes the bulging eyes because it's just like, oh, his head is so filled with sound that it's almost escaping him. Um, but I say with the aspects of the powers that he has, I'd be willing to give him an A.
I'm fine with an A tier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's iconic enough for S, but
Mm-hmm.
he's one of Ben's more utilized aliens. I would be
Mm-hmm.
I'd be ashamed of just leaving him B or under. So A tier is perfect for him.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of more utilized aliens, this is the other alien or one of the other aliens that I feel like Ben has utilized the most in his
Oh
design.
yeah, definitely.
This is Humongousaur.
Humongousaur.
So here's my thing about Humongousaur.
It's just a dinosaur.
Yes, it is just a dinosaur. I was gonna say, Jake, you might hate me for this, but nope, you got the exact same idea. I will say I love, and I wish I had a picture of it on the screen. I loved how when he grew, he got more details, he got a little more spikes, but this form of Humongousaur is just a dinosaur. He's big, he's strong, but that's about it.
Yeah, like I do kind of like Humongousaur, but what the my reason for why I would give him like A and not S is because in Omniverse they took away his growth changing,
Hmm.
which like that was the whole point of Humongousaur. So now he's just like no different from forearms.
Honestly, I'm willing to make the argument for B tier.
You know what? That's fine.
Because
You know, because he gets utilized quite a bit. You know, he's like a powerhouse alien, I guess. But like, yeah,
it's
you
just
take away the growth changing, you're taking away the one thing that made that alien unique from all the other ones.
hmm. All right, moving on to, and I will die on this hill, the fastest of Ben's aliens, Jet Ray. who shockingly only had one design.
Yeah, so a couple of these aliens like never appeared in Omniverse. Who's the guy? The artist for Omniverse, Derek J. Wyatt. He does have like art designs for some of the aliens that never appeared in Omniverse. So Spitter is one. Jet Ray is another one. His Jet Ray design is it's all right. It's all right. But I even with it though, I still like the Alien Force one. I love the gills. I love the yellow stretched out wings. I like how big he gets with the wings. It's like a creature of the night sort of feel. And he's a combination of a manta ray and a jet.
Yep.
So
This
uh,
I know I was talking about how versatile Ripjaws is, but this
mhm.
guy can do it all. He can swim,
Yeah.
he can fly, he can do whatever on land. He can shoot
Mhm.
lasers, which to every little boy is one of the coolest things in the world.
Yeah. No, despite me really liking Jet Ray because he doesn't really appear that all in Omniverse, even though he gets name dropped in Omniverse, Ben still doesn't use him. So I give him an A.
I'm fine with giving him an A tier.
Yeah, because I like him more than Humongosaur.
Yep. All
I really
right.
like him.
Now, and this is gonna screw me up because I've been doing a lot, or I've been saying a lot of he's in this episode. But this one, I think we have a good reason on why we should call this one a she. Jake, prepared to meet the alien that gave us the unsettling idea that Ben could get pregnant. This is Big Chill.
Here's the thing I've realized about Big Chill and his species. I think they don't have a gender.
That is true. I can see that.
That Yeah, no, yeah, I still remember that episode. Um, Again, it was like, well, it was different from the Ghost Freak incident where it's just like, oh, the instincts are taking control of Ben, except in a different way. I mentioned Ghost Freak though because much like in the case of Ghost Freak, he's can become transparent and phase through walls, but he's got ice powers. So he's like Arctic Iguana and Ghost Freak combined.
Hmm.
So, and not
That
only
plus
can,
the
mhm,
wings. We see how big the wings are. The wings can
mhm,
fold in to make this really cool cloak design.
mhm.
Wish I had that up as well, but I don't. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah, the cloak-like design is really cool and I really like it.
hmm.
Now, as much as I would love to give it S tier, my only argument for giving it A is the Omniverse design.
I
I
agree.
I'm a
It's
big
like
advocate. Oh, go ahead.
it's like when you're reading a comic book, because different artists make different comics. It's like if
Mhm,
you're reading a Marvel comic and you have that normal human look, and then you go, I think it was Rob Liefeld who ended up making Deadpool. He
mhm.
made a run where all of the all the superheroes were really jacked up front and had really tiny legs. To me, this is
Yeah,
the equivalent of that.
yeah. It's especially worse when you look at its cloaked form because he kind of looks like a hunchback.
Mm, yeah.
So because of that, I want to give him an A.
I'm fine with giving him an A tier.
I still think he's really cool. Again, it takes the aspects of Ghost Freak and Arctic Iguana and then just puts it up.
He's just a chill dude.
It's just a chill dude.
All right. So this next one, I know I brought up Vilgax and how if Ben's confident that he can go up against Vilgax with an alien, that alien's gonna
Mhm.
automatically go to S tier. But I
Yeah.
also mentioned there's an exception. This is the exception. This is Chromastone. And I forgot about the Omniverse design for a hot minute.
Yeah, because it only
Yeah.
appeared in the final episode.
Well, regardless, I'm not gonna lie. I liked Chromastone.
Mhm.
Chromastone was a great character. Chromastone was like if you took Diamond Head, made Diamond Head a little sleeker, but kept the strength, kept the durability, and added
Mhm.
lasers.
Yeah.
The problem is not as durable as Diamond Head, because in the battle against Vilgax, he was destroyed.
Hmm. That Yeah, Chroma Stone also has some weird like power inconsistencies because it's like I love the I love the light powers that he has. And he's supposed to be durable against electricity, except there are episodes in Ultimate Alien where like he gets shocked by electricity and it hurts him. It's just like
Hmm.
you took this before.
Yeah,
I still think he's a pretty cool concept. I love the powers. I say B.
I'm fine with B tier. I'm fine with B
Mhm.
tier. He had the potential, but he had to get his ass kicked by Vilgax.
Yeah.
And then get upstaged by our boy Diamond Head.
Mhm. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That is true. That is true. All right, next one. And I know I'm looking back and forth. Speaking of comparing to previous characters,
Mhm.
here comes the character that I was going to compare to Gray Matter. It's Brainstorm.
You know what's interesting is that like there are species that are kind of like enemies to each other.
Hmm.
And Brainstorm is a cerebral crustaceans, and the cerebral crustaceans and the Galvins are kind of like enemies to one another, which is a pretty cool dichotomy when you think about it.
Yeah. I would say
I,
between Gray Matter and Brainstorm, Brainstorm does have the upper hand because Brainstorm can fly. He's able to shoot lightning. He's able to use telekinesis with said lightning. Plus, in a recent research article, evolution has created crabs 4 times, leaving crabs to be the superior species. Because of that, Brainstorm's the superior species because Brainstorm's a crab.
yeah,
And those little flaps open up to reveal brain. I thought that was pretty
I
cool.
like that one scene in Omniverse where he turns to the brainstorm and he has this like strategic way of thinking, and you could see like all the stuff that he's planning out. Like he's just like so analytical about everything.
Hmm.
Um, Now, brainstorm, he's not the strongest one though,
No, he's not.
and he's had a fair amount of losses,
Mhm.
but I'd be willing to I say either B or A.
I want to make the argument for A.
Okay.
He, Brainstorm's got enough difference with powers that,
Mhm. I also love the voice. Brainstorm.
and I think there aren't any other characters that we're coming up or that we're going up to that have such a unique design.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on from Brainstorm. And no, this isn't Peter Parker in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Mhm.
This isn't Spider-Man. This is Spider Monkey.
Spider Monkey.
And I'm not gonna lie, I can't tell you which one I like better. The original Spider Monkey design or the Omniverse design? Because I don't know, it's weird. Because
I kind of feel the same way too. There are aspects of the designs that I like and don't like. Um, I say the first one like looks more like a monkey with like more insectoid parts.
yeah,
Um, whereas the other one has a little bit more aspects to a spider, a wolf spider to be more specific, because like he kind of like has Wolverine type hair.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's not a wolf. It is its own separate animal. We are not spreading that rumor in this podcast.
but either way, I think he's not, again, not the strongest alien, but he is used a fair amount. So I say either A or B.
I'm fine with A. I like Spider Monkey in A tier.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So continuing on,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to think of the best way to go about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know how some aliens leave a mess? This
Mm-hmm.
alien is the mess. But don't worry, he picks himself up. It's Goop. I like I like Goop's voice. It was like a little like a or something like that.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is that like all the voice stuff is controlled by the UFO.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, it's like in the case of like Wobbuffet, where it's like this is actually the mind and how the body is controlled, and this is just a vessel for him.
Yep.
Um, he supposedly has acid slime, which he doesn't use as often.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he kind of gets shelved
He does get
because because for all the strengths that he has, he also has some big disadvantages.
Mhm.
Because you would think that, like, oh, with him being liquid, he's able to phase through walls. Well, he's got the UFO though.
That is true. See, and that the UFO's the thing that confuses me because it's like when you see him transforming into Goop, you see Ben transforming into Goop, and then the UFO just appears. So
Mhm.
it's like, does Ben turn into just the Goop, or is the UFO part of the transformation? Is the
Also,
UFO just somewhere around watching Ben at all times, saying,
Mhm.
"Please pick me, please pick me"?
It's also been confirmed in Alien Force when he was fighting against Vilgax. Vilgax transforms into Goop, and Ben grabs the UFO and turns it off.
Yeah,
So I say C.
I'm fine with
C
C.
for C for Goop.
Yeah,
Goop is cool. Goop is cool,
Goop
but
is
like,
cool, but there's too much. That UFO's too much of a liability.
mm,
All right, so we got through 9 of the new aliens,
mm-hmm.
and now we're getting to one, and I know for a fact if Ben was able to, he'd use this one more often. The problem is he can't use this one as often. This
Mm-hmm.
is Alien X.
Wait, let's say it at the same time. Three, two,
One.
one.
Not gonna happen.
Just,
Okay.
uh,
Sorry. All right, let's actually do it for real. Three,
three,
two,
two,
one.
one.
Alien X.
Alien X.
Dude,
All right.
you suck at
So
this.
I really like the concept of Alien X.
Mm-hmm.
I like, you know, sometimes I'm not a big fan of OP characters just because of how they get hyped up in media. But Alien X is a special case where it feels like um because of how powerful he is and the way he gets not used sometimes makes it more of a weighted decision. Like in Ultimate Alien, where like he has to unlock it by Gwen and Kevin using keys on the Ultimatrix.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or in Omniverse when he finally gets full control of Alien X, because you know there's like the two minds that he has to conflict with passion and reason. I forget their names.
Mm-hmm.
Um but I think when it comes to most discussed aliens, Alien X is probably the number one most discussed alien. And Ben 10 probably wouldn't be what it is without Alien X. It just takes him to different places.
Yes, quite literally.
Um, yeah, yeah, definitely. I will say I love the UAF um, Alien X. It feels like celestial and has way more presence. The Omniverse one feels too buff,
Yes.
and I'm not necessarily a big thing with the chin, which is a very Derek thing to do. He loves big chins.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I will say, despite him being the most powerful alien, I say A.
I'm fine with A tier.
Because like the reasons why he's good are also the reasons why he's just too much.
Hmm.
You know,
I completely agree.
again, like powerhouse alien, but it's a weighted decision for that one.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Mhm.
And this is now the weird thing about Alien Force, out of the four main season or series, this one had the least amount of aliens, but there were
Yeah.
still extra aliens I forgot about.
Hmm.
This is one I didn't forget about, but I thought he was introduced in Ultimate Alien.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. There we go. Lodestar. A little too far ahead.
Lodestar.
Yeah. I honestly, Lodestar to me is pretty cool.
Yeah,
He's a big
I
fan
think
of
he's a pretty
magnet.
unique. Yeah, he's a
Mm,
pretty unique concept with the magnet powers that he has.
yeah.
I'd say B.
I'm fine with B tier.
Yeah. Again, I like the magnet powers. I think they're cool. Um, but just like not a super OP alien.
Hmm. Yep. I do like the fact that the head's floating.
Mhm.
I'm not a big fan of the head having a green glow when it moves to Omniverse, but I like the floating head.
Yeah, I like it too.
All right. Now let me tell you something about this next
Mhm.
character. He is mean. He, for a little bit of time, had green on him. He is the perfect combination of Hulk Hogan and Wolverine if they were in tiger form. And I feel like this guy has one of the most utilized fan favorites of all of Ben's aliens. It's Wrath.
Yeah, I really
He's
like
so
that.
underwhelmed by Wrath.
Sorry, my my voice is just acting up. Yeah. Let me tell you something.
Says his voice is acting up. Proceeds to do the Wrath voice.
Yeah. But I I don't know. Every time I see Wrath on screen, I just know I'm gonna have a good time. I
Yeah.
just have the biggest smile on my face. And you know what's even more funny? It's just like uh the voice casting for the UAF era, all of them have mentioned that Wrath is their favorite alien. And even in universe in the show, people talk about how Wrath is their favorite alien.
Yeah. Well, he's skinny. Remember
Kid,
that little girl?
Kitty,
Oh, what's that?
Kitty, let me tell you something.
He's also one of the few aliens that is able to get away with blatant insults like, I just jumped down your throat. If
Yeah,
if you do this, I'm gonna go back down there and knit your intestines into a sweater. That
yeah,
is an actual quote he said.
or like whispering on the phone, like, let me tell you something, quick, Tennyson.
That was like his big thing. It was, let me tell you something.
Yeah, it's based off of Hulk Hogan's like comic catchphrases of like,
Mhm.
you know something, or let me tell you something. Yeah.
I will
Rest in peace,
say,
Hulk Hogan.
yes, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. I am gonna say I like the original design better. I don't like that they added a macho look to like the luchador look to Wrath.
You want to know something about that though? That was only a thing for one episode,
It
and that
was?
was yeah, and it was an episode where like I don't know if it was. I think it was an Omnitrix sort of thing, but like it glitched out, and Ben could only speak Spanish, and Wrath speaks Spanish.
I need to watch that episode. That
Yeah.
I just
Honestly, though, my favorite Wrath design actually comes from Heroes United, where it's just like he just looks so ripped. Like
yeah.
you can see veins popping out of him. You can see all the added fur textures that he has. It trumps both of these, honestly.
Hmm.
But
So this
I
is our way of
say,
saying he's F tier. No,
hon- honestly, when it comes to power scaling, though, like he's not the most powerful alien.
no, but he is one of the most durable aliens. His rage alone packs a big enough punch for.
He did fall down an incredibly. He's fall down incredible height once, so.
It wasn't just that. He has gotten shot by so many lasers that
Mhm.
would have knocked anyone else back, and he just stood there unfazed.
Yeah.
He jumped into some dude's mouth, went down the intestinal tract just to save a baby.
So I'm assuming we're putting him at S.
He deserves it.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
It's Wrath. How can he not be in S tier?
The shoot, the Apoplexian ranks higher than the Celestial Sapien.
See, Jake's so much of a scientist, he knows all of their names. I just
Not
put them
all of
at
them.
titty.
Not
On
all
the
of them.
next one, which is tiniest bug that was introduced in the live action film and
Mhm.
somehow didn't get retconned like the other
Mhm.
live action alien. It's Nanomech.
Yeah. Now, Mac.
Are you invisible? No, I'm down here.
Yeah, that reminds me of that one episode in Ultimate Alien,
Mhm.
the video game one.
Yep. Now this is the one that I knew a wasn't an ultimate alien, but I thought because I knew he was introduced in a movie or in the movie,
Mhm.
I could have sworn he didn't have his first in-universe like cartoon adaptation until Ultimate Alien.
Yeah. Here's my name with Nanomech. He was cool in the movie that he was introduced in, and
Hmm.
he's useful in certain instances. But other than that, I can honestly see him as an F.
I wouldn't go that far down. I'm fine with a D tier for him, but I wouldn't go so far as F.
That's fine.
Yeah, F
That's
has
fine.
to be for the worst.
Yeah, I mean, like I like the circuit patterns. I think circuit patterns are cool, and I like the silver and green design. But
No, see, here's the thing. Nanomech still has its uses. Once we get to Omniverse, we get a bunch of these characters that quite literally have no uses.
mhm.
But anyway, so that is the introduced uh those are the aliens that were introduced through Alien Force. So Jake, give us a little taste of what we are or where we're at so far.
Well, as we can see here, B list is filling up. A list is starting to fill more up now. Actually, A and S are pretty equal.
We only threw two Alien Force aliens into S tier. And now I wish we made the argument for Big Chill.
Um,
I'm fine with leaving him.
mhm.
I'm fine with leaving him. Because now we get to the next season, which is
Hmm.
Ultimate Alien. And because I'm all about the drama,
Hmm.
we're not gonna look at the Ultimate Aliens until after we look at the new aliens first.
All right.
If I remember
Start
correctly,
with the Andromeda 5.
I was gonna get to that.
Mm.
So the Andromeda 5, starting off with Arrow Water Hazard.
Water hazard. Ooh.
I'm gonna be honest, he is my least favorite of the Andromeda 5.
I mean, he's not spectacular, but I like him just fine. You know.
Well, this isn't me saying I don't like him. I just, out of the five, he's my least favorite.
Mm. Yeah. Honestly, when it comes to the Andromeda 5 specifically, I'm actually one in favor for their Omniverse designs than their uh Ultimate Alien designs, with one exception. But in the case of Water Hazard, I love the Omniverse design.
Omniverse
Uh
design is very cool.
yeah. I mean, he shoots water. He's got the properties of a bivalve. It's pretty armored up.
Hmm.
He's able to absorb water from the air too, kind of similar to heat blast, not heat blast, swamp fire, but
Right.
with water. He's able to dehydrate stuff, which is pretty cool. Which is a power we only see once, which is disappointing. But I say B.
I'm fine with B tier.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I could be wrong, but I think this one's also misspelled.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be honest, this is out of the five, this is the one that I forget about the most, but I think is one of the coolest looking of the five.
Mm-hmm.
Amphibian.
Amphibian. Yep, he's another electric boy.
Yep. If I remember correctly, can't wasn't there something where he could also phase, or is that just something I'm making up?
I don't. Well, he does have electric powers, and he's able to like absorb things through electricity.
Maybe that's just something I'm
I think he could phase a little bit. Um, Also, he's the one where I do like the UAF design more than the Omniverse one.
hmm Yeah, I can see that.
I say hmm, I say B, but there could be arguments for C.
I'm fine with B. I'm fine with B.
Yeah.
Now this next one, I'm going to make
Mhm.
a solid argument for A tier.
Mhm.
Because this one is my favorite of the Andromeda 5. And I'm not gonna lie, he has so much potential. It's Armadillo.
Oh yeah, Armadillo. Armadillo. He actually gets used quite a bit by Ben.
He does get used quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, he's just a chunky dude. He's got that, jackhammer punch. He's got the drills.
Yeah, he's an armadillo and he's got the jackhammer stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I'd be fine with A for
All
armadillo.
right. All right. Next, the alien that Ben 10 has that can go up against Pennywise and win hands down, Terraspin. And if you want to make the argument that he doesn't, read the book. The book explains why.
Yeah, I think his powers are pretty cool. The fact that he's able to spin like a turtle and manipulate the air, I think is pretty cool. Um,
Hmm.
I say B.
I'm fine with B tier for
Yeah.
Terraspin.
Hmm.
All right. So now we get to the last of the Andromeda 5 with a thick Russian accent.
Yeah.
Very offensive in all levels. NRG.
NRG. I like the concept of NRG. I think he's pretty cool. It's not image there, but like I like the fact that he has a magma body on the inside. that could be broken open,
Hmm.
and how radioactive it is too. Uh,
I don't know.
so
I feel like energy does get a little lower because it's at this point where we start seeing a lot more characters with this kind of body design.
yeah, he
It's more
is
of a
pretty
capsule.
slow. He is pretty slow when he's in the suit.
Hmm.
So I say C.
I'd be fine with C tier. Like I
Mhm.
said, this is where we start seeing a common pattern with that, like capsule design. Although I think when it comes to these aliens, there's only one more with that design in Ultimate Alien.
Mhm.
It's just when we get to the next one, that's when we start getting a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Moving on to currently, and I'm only saying this because the Ben 10 TikToks I've been seeing have been saying this. Currently, the laughing stock of Ben's aliens, Fast Track.
Fast Track is an interesting one because they made him so he's actually made to be more superhero like and to look like a speedster like the Flash.
Hmm.
And like he does look cool, but I still like Accelerate.
So here's where I'm gonna give Fast Track the benefit of the doubt.
Mhm.
Because of how Fast Track's body design is, I could see, with the exception of the tail, Fast Track and Accelerate being subspecies of the same species.
Mhm.
Just one with the tail, one without. Maybe one's a little more technologically advanced.
Yeah.
No, but when it comes to the speedsters in Ben's arsenal, Fast Track is one of the slower ones.
He looks slow when he runs too, which is so odd. Um
I'm also gonna
honestly,
my first introduction of Fast Track was him getting clotheslined by a Forever Knight.
yeah.
That was pretty
That
amazing.
that is I mean he's had better appearances, but like
Hmm.
and he only ever appears in Ultimate Alien. Derek J. White did make a design for him in Omniverse, which does give him more unique body proportions, but like honestly, I could put him at D, but I could also see him as an F.
I'm gonna say D because, like I said, there's still some use for him. Once we get to
Mhm.
Omniverse, we're gonna get to those characters that don't really have a use.
Mhm.
All right, next up, we've got Chameleon.
Honestly, I want to put that one in F
I'm fine with Chameleon in F tier.
because like he's based on a chameleon,
Hmm.
and he was the alien that Ben scanned in a really great episode of Ultimate Alien. But past that episode, though,
Yeah,
he's
that one.
like,
Yep. All right, next. And everyone thinks about this aliens. Everyone thinks of this alien's omniverse design. They think
mhm,
that's the original, but this alien was actually introduced in the Ben 10 Generator X crossover. We got Shock Squatch.
or shock swatch when you need him. Yeah, I think it's unique though. Like they have two completely different designs, and honestly,
Mhm.
I kind of like the Generator X one because we get too many aliens that are just big dudes. We don't get
That-
too many that look like freaking beasts
That's true.
because he's supposed to look like a Yeti
Hmm. I'll
and
agree.
a Sasquatch, but
Hmm.
And I mean, I think the Omniverse one is fine. You know, it does fit in with that art style, but I don't know. I don't know. I really like this Sasquatch, and it's another electric alien.
Yeah, that is true. Ben's got quite a few of these.
Oh yeah.
I do feel like Shock Squatch does get overshadowed by the true electric alien that he uses, but that's gonna be once we hit Omniverse. So Jake, what are you thinking? Because I'm thinking Shock Squatch could probably be a B tier, maybe C tier.
I say B because he still gets used quite a bit in Omniverse, especially with him being one of the early ones to be used in Omniverse too.
That's true. All right, moving on. Now, I've been called this at karaoke.
Mhm.
There have been times where I will sing, but I will also eat a little too much. It's Edel.
Beetle.
Actually, don't get called that. I haven't gone to karaoke in a while. I just couldn't think of anything better to say.
Okay, so two things. One, I'm not a big fan of the UAF design. I think it's kind of boring. I like the Omniverse one.
I like the Omniverse design too.
Yeah. And then secondly, this is an alien that is another garbage disposal, but
Hmm.
I don't think his power is as unique as Upchuck's. And honestly, it kind of handles the same way too. It's just that rather than shooting from the mouth, he shoots from his horn.
Right.
So honestly, I can see him at C.
I'm fine with C tier.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we're gonna start getting a general pattern for this, for these
Yeah.
characters. All right, now moving on to the next one. We got Clockwork.
Clockwork. I
If I
like
remember
Clockwork.
correctly, is one of, if not, well, never mind. I'm gonna say one of Ben's aliens that can manipulate time.
Yeah. Um, I mean, Alien X could probably manipulate time if he found a workaround for it, but this is the actual alien that manipulates time.
This is the one
And
that's still technically canon,
oh yeah,
because the other
nope,
one's not
still
considered
is.
canon. Well, the other one's not considered canon. I'm upset with
Hmm.
that one.
Yeah. I don't think he is as mobile as he should be. There are instances where he's used, and it's just like he can't run very fast. Uh, he can't move around super fast either. Like he's mainly the timekeeper.
Yes.
That's what he is. So I think because of that, I would give him an A.
I'd be fine with A. I could make the argument with B because we've got again that similar body shape to energy where it's just a big metal man, but I'm fine with A tier for
But
Clockwork.
I like the little
Actually,
detail. I like the little details that he has though.
that is true. Clockwork does have the details. Again,
Mhm.
I also will accept Clockwork in A tier because of how useful he is.
Mhm.
Considering there's others that aren't really as useful. All
Mhm.
right. Now, I know earlier I mentioned Gremlin. I
Mhm.
think I mentioned Gremlin.
Yeah.
This is the alien
Yeah.
I'm talking about. This is Jerry Rig.
Jury rig.
Which, if I remember correctly, Jerry Rig is basically gray matter with the body of Sable Eye.
Mhm. So these are actually based off of like the goblins that were supposedly tearing down like the 20th century technology. Um, that's like a theory. But I'll say I don't like the UAF design. Edel and Jury Rig from UAF are probably my least favorite alien designs of all time
Hmm.
because they feel so bare. Um, I do like the Omniverse one. Again, like it's just not every alien needs a freaking jumpsuit.
Oh, no.
Like, but I do think his powers are unique. I think he's interesting. I say, I say B.
I'm fine with B tier.
I say B for jury rig. I still think using upgrade is better.
Yes, upgrade is definitely better. All right, so these are the new aliens from
Mhm.
Ultimate Alien. So Jake, just as a little placeholder, where do we see our tier list?
Tier list is over here.
It looks like A tier is taking the lead. We didn't add any of the new aliens to S tier.
Yeah.
Although looking at the Ultimate Aliens, I can see a few going into S tier.
Hmm. Want to talk about the ultimate aliens right now?
Yep, let's talk about the Ultimate Aliens right now.
Yeah, so we decided to talk about the ultimate aliens because, like, honestly, they're a short concept. Um,
Hmm.
so like in Ultimate Alien, Ben 10 has the Ultimatrix, which allows him to turn any one of his aliens into an ultimate alien, which you would think would be a pretty cool concept. But honestly, I think it's all right. And on it, this is going to be more of a discussion when we talk about mega evolutions for Pokemon,
Hmm.
because to me they're kind of a similar thing. But it's just like designs could be iffy and not complete if not handled right. And also, there's just like, why use this to begin with? But
Right.
when it comes to Ultimate Swampfire, I do think he's one of the better ones.
Yes, Ultimate Swamp Fire is definitely one of the better ones.
I think he has a different enough design that doesn't entirely separate himself from original Swampfire. And I like the blue fire. I
Yep,
think that's cool.
I do too. I wouldn't say Ultimate Swamp Fire deserves S tier like Swamp Fire does, but I'm fine with Ultimate Swamp Fire getting A tier.
I'm fine with that too. And mainly just because for some reason, the Ultimate Swampfire is the one that loses the most in a lot of fights.
Mm,
For some reason. It's just like every time Ben is used him besides the Vilgax fight, he just gets shoved.
hmm.
Sad.
All right, now to look at, if I remember correctly, the first Ultimate Alien we've ever seen on screen, which
Mhm.
wasn't even from Ben, it was from
Albedo.
Albedo. Ultimate Humongosaur.
Ultimate humongous.
And I'm gonna be honest, I want to make the argument for Ultimate Humongosaur to be in S tier.
Hmm.
Here's why. Between Humongosaur and Ultimate Humongosaur has enough drastic change. He's now got that little back shell with spikes. He's got that little headdress. If I remember correctly, he's able to shoot things out of his hands now. And the end of his tail is a spiky ball.
You know what? I will be fine to give it a begrudging S, but only because I really like the Omniverse design.
Hmm. I'm fine with that. Also, Ultimate
Mhm.
Humongosaur is green. And it's Ben 10. You gotta go green. Yep.
Okay.
Now, next one. Big Mama's getting a big upgrade.
Mhm.
Ultimate Big Chill.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't care two F's about of Ultimate Big Chill.
Oh,
First of all, the design, not that much change. It's
not
just
really.
like a chill with fire tips. Also, his thing is like he still freezes things, but the ice is so cold that it burns. Like,
See, I like that concept. I just really wish it wasn't misleading. Like, oh, it's fire Big Chill. No, it's just a Big Chill who gives you frostbite.
honestly.
or Frostburn.
I can see him either as F or D.
I'd be fine with D. I'd be fine with D. All right, next. Next is a good boy, but this time it's a
Hmm.
good boy who can talk. Ultimate Wild Mutt.
I'm not a big fan of Ultimate Wild Mutt, if I'm being
What?
completely honest. No,
He can
I'm
talk
serious.
now.
That's his only thing. That's his only thing. That's his only thing that he does. The whole point of being an ultimate is that it's stronger than the other one. And
Yes,
like,
and his
sure.
strength comes from the fact that he can now speak his mind.
Oh my gosh. There aren't that.
Look, so far we've only had one alien who doesn't speak, and that is Wild Mutt.
He only uses Ultimate Wild Mud twice in the show.
You used him
Compared
twice?
to,
I only used him once.
it is twice. He uses them in the debut episode where Wild Mud returns, and then in the final episode of Ultimate Alien.
Mm, all right. Where would you put him? Because I can't get an S tier from him. I wasn't gonna put him in S tier.
I say either C or D.
I'm fine with C. I like
I
the
still I still like OG Wild Mud.
I do too, but I like the design for Ultimate Wild Mutt. Love the fact that he now speaks.
Mm-hmm.
I like how there's more than just orange. It's now red with the white stripe, and I like how the tail looks like it has a stinger in the back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So moving on, and this is another one I want to make an argument for S tier, like a genuine argument for S tier.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually the one that I was gonna, or that I wanted to bring up the Ultimate Alien for. Because you look
Yeah.
at the other Ultimate Aliens, you can tell that there is a significant or a significance in look. But this one, Ultimate Echo Echo,
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
this
I
is
honestly, I honestly think he's more deserving of an S tier than Ultimate Humongosaur, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah.
he is, but I still want to keep Ultimate Humongousaur in S tier because he deserves it too.
Well, this is the Ultimate Alien that almost took down Kevin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like he almost killed him. He
Yep.
just chose not to.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what
Uh,
heroes do.
yeah, but I love the slick blue design. I like the discs, the Sonic discs. I think it's pretty cool. He generally feels like a threat sometimes. Um, yeah, I just like him. It's cool.
Yep. So S tier.
Hmm.
Now there's something I remember. There was a toy line because again I collected the action figures and all I had two Ultimate Echo Echoes.
Hmm.
I had the blue design, but then there was one where he switched color schemes. I want to say NRG, so he was more green and gray. So that was pretty cool. All right, moving on to an Ultimate Alien. I feel like looks really cool and was really had a good idea behind. Overall execution was poor. Ultimate Spider Monkey.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Ultimate Spider Monkey. At least this one, he kind of just looks like a gorilla on stilts.
Yeah, pretty much.
I say either C or D
I'm
for
fine
this
with
one.
I'm fine with D tier.
Hmm.
All right. And since we're going with a little bit of a downhill climb with these, let's go with the Ultimate Alien. Literally, the only change is a little bit of a color scheme, and I think spikes.
Yeah.
Ultimate Cannonbolt.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one either.
Yeah.
He's
I
just
like the
metal.
color, but that's about it.
Yeah, I say D.
I'm fine with that.
Honestly, don't care at this point. I don't care for the next one either.
No, I don't know. I can make an argument because you have way big, and then you have ultimate way big.
This was okay. This was stupid. I'm just
Okay.
gonna say I'm just gonna say it. This was so freaking stupid, and it didn't even take down Dagon either.
No,
So honestly, I just go as far as to say is F, because like I straight up do not care.
I'm fine with F tier because I feel like all you really did to make way big ultimate was make him grow a little more and change his color scheme. So I'm
Boo.
fine with ultimate way big being in F tier.
Mhm.
With
Tell me.
that, where
Mhm.
are our ultimate or where are our aliens?
Uh, let's see. This is where our aliens are at.
All right.
We got some stuff added on S tier.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest one is still B tier.
Yeah, I feel like that's just a common thread for us at this point.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have some of your average aliens, you know.
Yeah, that is true. Not they can't all be winners. Now moving on, we've now got the Omniverse aliens. Starting with, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like this is his most used alien in Omniverse. Every time we switch, I try to put the or press my arrow and it doesn't work. But this is feedback. Another
Oh, yeah.
electric
Feedback.
alien.
Yeah. So I like feedback. I mean, he is another electric alien because he absorbs electricity, but he had a whole 2 season arc revolving around him, and he was actually designed by the same guy that made the original 10 aliens,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the original series. Because there's a version of this without like the bolts and the green. That's just the slender design with the white. Um,
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of designed to be like the favorite alien too, you know. So
All right.
I say either A or S.
I'd be fine with S tier. I'm fine with
Yeah,
that. Because I feel like
yeah,
every iteration should have an S tier or S tier alien.
yeah.
All right. Moving on, and I'm gonna make an argument for S tier for this one too, for two distinct reasons. We've got blocks. Okay, my two distinct reasons. First one, not necessarily bias, but a little bias. Blocks is basically a Lego alien. And if I remember correctly, Blocks was one of those aliens that was able to transform into whatever he wanted because of his blocks. And the second thing, for those of you who aren't aware of this, my name is Xavier Alexander. So I have two X's in my name. So does Blocks. I'm going to fight for Blocks
um,
because he has two X's like my name.
you want to know why I don't care about blocks though?
Why don't you care about Blocks?
I feel like he doesn't mesh in with the Ben 10 world very well because it's like sure, like we have aliens that are based off of like one distinct thing. We've got ones that are based off of animals or like distinct objects. But the thing is that they look like an alien in their own professed object. But with blocks, he just looks like Legos. If you were to put him with the classic series aliens, like it just doesn't mesh well with it. And it doesn't have to do anything with art style. It has to do with the fact that like he was made. What Omniverse was going for was just like more gimmicky type aliens,
Hmm.
which we will see with some of the other ones. And Blocks was kind of the precedent for that. And while he is usable, I mean, he is one of the most used aliens in Omniverse, but like, it's just, I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm fine with him not being an S tier, I guess. It's up to you. Where would you feel he belongs?
You know what?
I still feel like he deserves to be just a little higher because he was still fairly
I'll
used.
give him an S. I'll give him an
We'll give him an
S
S.
just for you.
Yes.
Just for you.
Yes. Thank
It's
you.
a begrudging S, but
Hey, you know what? I will take my S's where I can get them.
here's the thing. I have one argument. Uh
Hmm.
who's the next alien?
Gravitack.
I think he should be S.
I'm fine with that. I'll be fine with
Yeah.
it. I don't know
I know.
much. I don't know much about Gravitack. If you can't tell, because I put his powers down.
Hmm.
But I'm a big fan of those characters who are able to manipulate gravity in any meaningful way, shape, or form. Gravitack's one of them.
Hmm.
Plus, he can do the cannonbolt thing of turning into a ball.
Yeah. Will turn into a planet and he's able to manipulate the gravitational pull of things, you know. And that makes him very versatile for that.
Yeah.
So I consider him to be a true powerhouse alien. So yeah, S tier.
All right, I'm fine with that too. Oh man, I think Omniverse is actually kicking ass now. We've got three Omniverse in S tier. Well, that's gonna change now. We've got Crash Hopper, which
Shopper.
which design wise looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a grasshopper.
Yeah, that's pretty much it though.
Yeah. I say I say B.
I'm fine with B tier for Crash.
Yeah. He's
As
got
long as
cool power,
what's that?
but not he's got cool power, but he's not particularly useful.
No, no. But if you need a quick cleanup and you don't have goop or you don't have any of the matter eating aliens,
Mhm.
always call Ball Weevil.
Oh, Weevil.
Yeah. Like
I,
I I hated this alien.
mm, Ball Weevil's a bit of a weird one. Um, Again, not maybe not the most useful alien out there. He is pretty unique.
Hmm.
Um, I say either B, maybe even C.
I'm fine with C. I hated Ball Weevil. I don't
Yeah.
remember why I hated Ball Weevil, but I remember I hated Ball Weevil.
Mhm.
All right, moving on. And this is where we're gonna start reaching those aliens that are like some of them I can see on higher tiers, but most of them I can see in lower tiers. This is Walk Trout with the
Yeah,
ability of
Wakatrow.
or Walk Trout with the
He-
powers of slippery body, enhanced durability, enhanced acrobatics, which you cannot tell because of his body shape, and underwater breathing.
I forget. He's supposed to be based on a gimmick, but I don't remember what that gimmick is.
He kind of looks like Jeff the Shark.
Mhm.
Like like not a good one.
Either way, I could see him as a D.
I'd be fine with D. I'm
Mhm.
fine with D. All right. Next up, we've got Pesky Dust. Again, another one I wasn't familiar with, so I had to write down powers with sleep dust manipulation, uh, anerokinesis, dream observation, and flight. And I actually had looked that one up and I completely forgot it. So give me a second to look it up again. Jake, feel free to say what you want to say.
So I think out of all of these gimmicky ones, I kind of like Pesky Dust. I say we could give it a B because I like the fairy like design. I think the powers are pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool alien.
All
So
right.
are you thinking B?
The superhuman ability to create, shape, enter, or control the dreams. Um, can I make the argument for A?
Go ahead.
All right, cool. I'm gonna make the argument for A, and here's why. So, oneirokinesis is the ability to manipulate dreams, whether you're tapping
Mhm.
into them, creating them, or disrupting them in any way, shape, or form. Now, a lot of people have so much hate on that power set. When you have characters like Nightmare from Marvel or Freddy Krueger from the scary movies. I'm saying
Mhm.
scary because I'm from the Midwest, and there's a certain word that sounds like the other word, but regardless, the thing about dreams is you can mess someone up with their dreams. You can turn those dreams into nightmares. You can force someone to wake up due to a kick, for those of you who watched Inception, or by just having them fall off a cliff, and now they're awake, they are alert, and now they can't go back to sleep. But you can do
Mhm.
so much from entering dreams, going through, changing them, changing the wills. There was actually an episode of Rick and Morty with that similar premise. Basically, this is nerdy me of saying we need more representation of that power set. So I will make the argument for A tier because that is a cool power set in my eyes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that. A tier.
Oh wait, if that was easy. S tier, S tier, S tier. Hold on, I can add extra five
No, you
minutes.
already got blocks for S tier, all right?
Okay, I'm fine with that. All right, next up. Next up's a gimmick. This one
Mm-hmm.
is by far a gimmick. It's Mole Stash.
Mole stash. This is quite unprecedented.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Better mustache than me, and I'm not liking it.
Honestly, I can see this one as being a D, maybe even a C.
I'd be fine with a B tier.
You said B?
Or not B, D.
D.
D. D
Okay.
tier.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, he could fly with his mustache. That's cool. But
Yeah, but we got the same thing from Timmy Turner and the Fairly Odd Parents with his hair. It wasn't as cool then, it wasn't cool now.
I've not thought about that way, but okay.
Now, this next one, before we get to it, this next one has a solid argument for F tier.
Mhm.
And we don't even have to say anything about it.
Mhm. Oh man, this guy's the worst.
Quite literally, his name
Very
is.
strongly dislike the underwear.
What's that?
I very strongly dislike the underwear.
Well, see, you know how earlier I was saying I feel like F tier is more deserving of the worst?
Hmm.
I was specifically talking about the worst. This,
Yeah.
you know, the most unsettling part about this alien for me? It's not the underwear.
Mhm.
It's the fact that the watch is embedded in the belly button.
I mean, I'd rather take that over them making another freaking belt design and then doing that, but
No. So, like I
uh,
said, F tier.
sure.
What? Whoa,
No,
whoa, whoa, whoa! What were you gonna argue D tier?
I, my only other argument is that he stood up against stronger creatures. Like he's withstood against a pirate knight, but
Yeah, but you could do the same thing with Wrath or Diamond Head.
But that's fine. I don't care. F tier.
All right. Now this next one, I want this one in a higher tier because of the name. It's Kickin' Hawk.
I'm sorry. Like, he was so overhyped.
I
Like,
know he was
he,
so overhyped.
he could have been cool, but he's not. Like, he
Mm-hmm.
even has like the cool voice, but like he's just man chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I say D.
I'd be fine with D tier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd be fine with D. All right. Next one.
Mhm.
We've got another one where it's a very similar design. Kind of. I think I'd describe
Topic.
Topic with a nightmarish face,
Yeah.
also known as Me When I Wake Up.
He was actually spoiled. Well, not spoiled. He was kind of hinted early on in like the Ken 10 episode where it's like it's Ken 10's birthday, he gets the Omnitrix and like, oh yeah, you have Topic. And it's just like, oh, Topic even grosses me out. And we didn't get what it looks like until Omniverse, where it's just like this alien's power is just looking ugly, which is kind of sad when you think about it.
That's my power too. I can relate.
I say C.
I'm fine with C. I'm fine with C. Don't worry,
Mm-hmm.
Topic. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, because again, we're recording on Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Love you. Or at least I love you. Not sure about Jake.
Hey, he's all right. I like him more than the next one.
Who's the next one? You like him more than Aerodactyl?
Astrodactyl.
Astrodactyl.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We got him over Jet Ray.
Mm-hmm.
We got him over Jetway, and he's not even that special. Like, he's way lamer than Kickin' Hawk, too. In fact,
That's fair.
I would even go as far to say as either D or F.
I want to say D tier because I still like how the design looks.
Okay.
All right. Now this next one. It's just a cool dude. A very cool dude. Cool frog, you might say. Oh, frag.
Skull Frag. I love the debut episode that he was in. It's just like he's just like Chad looking frog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I say B for Bullfrag.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. I mean he's not spectacular, but like I just like the cool persona that he has.
Mm-hmm. I agree. He's just one dude. All right. Next one. And I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
honest, I said this next one's name 5 times before I realized what his actual name is. And I am sure I'm gonna say it wrong anyway.
Mm-hmm.
This is Atomics.
Yep,
Right.
Atomics.
I said it right. What?
Yep, it's Atomics.
Okay. I've been saying Atomics the entire
Yeah.
now. He's got nucleokinesis, radiokinesis, earthkinesis, and photokinesis, which is a lot of chemical kinesises that I don't even know, and at this point, I'm not looking up.
Honestly, there's a few things that bother me about him. One thing is I don't like the head.
See
I
that?
wish
I don't know. For me, that head's actually the one thing I like about the design.
I don't like how it's shaped like a cone though. I wish it
Not
was
into
like
the
kind
cone
of
head.
slimmed down.
Mm.
Yeah. But here's the thing, he kind of feels phoned in a little bit to
Mm-hmm.
be like another OP alien, which
Yeah.
he is. You know, he is another powerhouse alien, but he doesn't, I don't know. To me, he doesn't stand above the ranks of what we got in S.
Mm-hmm.
or A.
No.
So
I'd
I'd
be
be
fine.
willing to give him a B.
Yep. B tier. All right. So next one, and this is another one I said a couple times before I got it right,
Mm-hmm.
is gut rot.
That's all right.
Yeah, but again, you get that same similar shape.
Mm-hmm. I say C.
I'd be fine with C tier.
Yeah.
All right, now last one. And the
Mm-hmm.
best way I can compare this one. Remember that DC Gods and Monsters cartoon where Batman was a vampire? That is basically what vampire is.
It
And I
actually is
don't know
relevant.
why corrupture of projectiles is green.
Yeah.
It
It makes sense because Ben 10 had this like special for a while called Galactic Monsters that spanned a few episodes, where this Scare was the main villain, and they had a vampire main enemy that became Vampire. And honestly, I don't care for Vampire.
I don't know.
He barely gets used, and he's honestly kind of useless. So I say F.
I'd be fine with it here. I like vampire characters, but only if there's something cool about them. This guy's not. All right. And that takes us up to Omniverse. So Jake, where's our tier list at now? All right. All right. I think we're starting to see some pretty good development. Also, I understand that Omniverse technically had two other aliens, but those also weren't Ben's aliens. Those were different characters' aliens.
Yeah, I do like some of the ultimate versions, so it's like the ultimate versions of the Omniverse aliens. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I
Do we want to try to talk about those, or do you want to leave them? Because, like I said, that technically they're not Ben's aliens.
I say we leave them. I
All
say we leave them.
right, cool. Because my presentation did not include them.
That's fine.
All right. So now, so that's the main ones that we had initially talked about. But then
Mhm.
we do have the reboot series, which
Mhm.
had
Which there
five.
aren't too many.
What's that?
There aren't too many.
There aren't too many. There were only five. But before we do that, I mentioned this before, but there were two aliens that got retconned during the time or during the series. The first one was Spitter, who we saw. I thought it was just once. I didn't think it was twice
Mhm.
in the original Ben 10 uh, cartoon. But this character was actually introduced in a movie, and this movie was referenced in I think just one episode of Alien Force before it was retconned. So that was, I think this one was Race Against Time, and we've got ourselves Eon.
So yeah, he's more of a villain than anything, and he's part of a species called Cronians, which they like manipulate time.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep. But this
but
specifically is Ben Eon. This isn't the one that's in the glass bowl.
but Eon is Ben. He's like a future evil Ben.
Yes.
Um, but the thing about him is just like we never really get to see him utilize the powers,
Mm-mm.
especially when it comes to the live action movies. And whenever we do see Eon afterwards, it's usually pretty underwhelming.
Hmm. I
But
I can
I don't want to rake him though, because like he's just kind of.
say I'm fine with that.
Mhm.
I'm perfectly fine with that. So moving on to the reboot series, where we get
Mhm.
Not water hazard, but overflow. Overflow is
Hmm.
basically water hazard, but you get to see the water.
Yeah. You can see how the show slowly became more child centric
Hmm.
than it was from the beginning. I mean, I think Overflow's all right, but he doesn't really have any that many unique feats compared to Water Hazard.
Yeah,
So I say C.
I'm fine with C tier.
Mhm.
All right, next up, we've got. Oh, I didn't think. Oh, it is this one next. We've got Gax. I could have,
Yeah.
I could
So
have
so
sworn he was one later, but so this one is basically when Ben became Vilgax.
yeah, where like part of Vilgax's DNA is in the Omnitrix, and then he takes it back. So
Hmm.
Ben could only transform into that alien for one episode.
But it is still technically a new alien, so we are going to talk about it. And I'm not going to lie, I love these concepts
I
where,
like it.
well, I like the concept in general of the hero in order to learn more about the villain or become the villain, physically has to become the villain or has to do something villainous. Granted, I understand that this was a kids show. They probably didn't take that route. I didn't watch this episode, but still, I love the idea of the hero becoming the villain in some capacity.
Well, how it was handled in the special was like Ben like sees this new alien that he hasn't tried before and transforms into him, and he starts using him a lot because he's like pretty powerful and super good to use. And then this old shrivelly guy who is obviously Bill Gax appears and is just like, hey, I can help you with your powers, and then grabs the Omnitrix and then absorbs the power back into his system.
Mm, yep.
So it's not so much becoming the villain as it is just like, oh, it's a new alien. But oh
Yeah.
no, it's actually absorbed from a bad guy.
Hmm. I don't know. I still like this to a point, and I'm not sure if you're gonna agree with me with this.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to give this an S tier
Well,
because the one thing
I'd
I
be
wanted,
fine.
what's that?
I'll be fine with that.
Fine with that. Well, the one thing I wanted to watch the most because Ben can turn into aliens. I wanted him to turn into Vilgax just once.
Well, especially since Vilgax it does have a species.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. Next one. And next one's also pretty cool. And I'm debating on if I want to argue S tier for this one. But it's Shock Rock.
Yeah, Shock Rocket was one of those gimmick ones where like he kind of fused with all the other aliens.
Hmm.
Um, he's a cool concept.
Yep.
I think he's one of the more interesting of the electric aliens. But I say A.
I'd be fine with A tier. I'd be fine with A tier. My
Mhm.
big thing is Shock Rock would be like if you were able to use upgrade with any other alien.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Going back to upgrade. Upgrade's power is technically used by a Marvel character. Well, a couple Marvel characters. It's not to the capacity of technology, more into the capacity of humans. Upgrade is basically technology's version of Venom.
I could see that.
Yep. All right. Moving on. We've got Slapback
So
with
it is.
kinetic
Uh,
self-duplication and shrinking replication. Basically, ditto. Again.
it is, but here's the thing about this one that's kind of interesting, and that is each one gets stronger and heavier the more you duplicate it.
Mm,
So I think that aspect is unique. But I say B.
I'd be fine with B tier. All right. Last alien.
Hmm.
Now, Jake, I know you're pretty much fed up with me when I say this, but this alien deserves to be an S tier for my sanity.
Hmm.
I know absolutely nothing about this alien.
Good, because I don't either.
Okay. Well, this alien is Surge with the powers of flight, levitation, omnilingualism, which basically can speak any language, optic lasers, and force field generation.
I know he's like used for like a certain couple specials of the show, but like honestly, I say B.
So, you want to know my argument for S tier?
Yes.
Cool. So, the other two characters who I was fighting for S tier, one of which won, one of which didn't, came because they had X's in the names. And
Mhm.
Accelerate, which did not get S tier, and Blocks with two X's managed to get into S tier. So
Accelerate did get an S tier.
that's what I was saying. Sir, or Blocks got into S tier. Accelerate did not. Now Surge does not have an X in his name, but he is the shape of an X. You gotta give him S tier because he is shaped like an X.
Dude, I gave you freaking blocks.
Okay.
I gave you blocks. That should be enough.
I'm okay, fine. I'm fine with B tier because I feel like Surge is just a generic. Honestly, I could see Surge like. Oh, and I was just watching this episode of Justice League Unlimited. Booster Gold's AI companion. What was the name?
Mm,
Petrie? Is that the name?
I don't know.
I don't know. Regardless, I'm fine with B tier.
Mhm.
And that is our last one. So, Jake, one last time, where are our rankings?
Well, if the screen is loading.
Screen is loading. All right. Oh, there it is. Uh, honestly,
Accelerate is S tier.
Accelerate is this here?
Yes, we put them on.
Yes, we did. Okay.
See, you
Wait, hold
got.
on. Wait a minute. Where's Blocks? Where did you put Blocks? How
I
dare you?
can't believe you noticed just now.
Dude.
I'll put him on S tier.
I trusted you.
Oh my god. Uh,
Honestly, I feel like this is a pretty solid tier list. I'd say we could compare with the other tier lists, but I feel like the other tier lists also added characters we didn't add.
you know what's funny is that the S and A tiers are almost equal to each other.
They are. All right.
We make them
No,
equal.
no, 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 no. If we want to truly make them equal, if we want to truly make them equal, we could bring Chromostome to A or Chromostone to A tier.
I honestly would prefer that.
You prefer that? Okay.
Mhm.
There. Now S tier and A tier are equal.
Mhm.
All right.
I say this is a pretty solid batch of S tiers right now.
That is.
The major exception being this one.
No,
It's
no,
like,
that one's perfect too. That one's perfect. So, all right. Well, this all looks good. For that, that is the end of this episode. Now, for our next episode, because the weekend we would normally record that episode, I've got two big events going on that take up my entire day. We will instead be recording again tomorrow, so the day after Valentine's Day. We'll still release the episodes at the same times. It's just you may see us in similar looking outfits or in a similar facial look. But with that being said, I'm Xavier Dean,
And I'm Jacob Green.
wishing you a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay warm, even though now it's getting a little warmer. Above all else, love the X's. Not your X's, but, like the letter X. You know what I mean? Have a wonderful night, everyone. Where's the record button?
Clock.